Fellow nerds, what's going on? I am Charles of Sounds Nerdy. Got my partner in crime, Jamocha, with me. This is Game Club. In this Game Club, we are talking about Cosmic Star Heroine. It's a Nintendo, well, it's not a Nintendo Switch game exclusively, but it was released on the Nintendo Switch last year, I think in August, and it came out for other platforms in earlier that year or in 2017. But yep, it's available for PC, PS4, Vita, and the Nintendo Switch.
That's
crazy. The Switch, the Vita got support up until its death. Up until Sony was like, "All right, stop,
no more,
stop, no more. We're done making this thing." I love my Vita, man. But Cosmic Star Heroine, science fiction game, role playing game to be specific. Reminds me of Chrono Trigger. That's what I see it compared to a lot on the internet. I think they did that on purpose. Hit a lot of people's nostalgia bone, which is good for a Switch game. It's a nice portable game. So if you played it there or on the Vita, because we don't want to disrespect the Vita users, if you played it on the Switch or the Vita, I think that was the best place to play it. But yeah, we're going to be discussing this game. We played through this game about over a month or so. So let's get into it. I posted topics that we're going to talk about in the Facebook group. So we're going to start off with graphics, then work our way over to sound, then story, then gameplay with this title. There's no online component, so we don't have anything to talk about there. But let's start with the graphics. Mocha, I'm going to start with you. What did you think about the graphics?
So the 16-bit graphics that they decided to go with were pretty cool. It did harken back to the old, like I said, Chrono Trigger games, the Final Fantasy games on Super Nintendo. So it did bring up those feelings, and they were very colorful, very bright. On this Switch itself, on a small screen, at that resolution, it seemed to be very good. I also liked even the cutscenes that they had. It was actually pretty good for the graphical style that they were going for. Very detailed faces. You can look and see all the features of them. So I thought that was pretty well done. So yeah, overall, I thought that was pretty good.
Yep, like you said, I enjoyed the 16-bit aesthetic of it quite a bit. Reminded me of probably one of my favorite RPGs of all time, Secret of Mana.
Yes.
That's what I kept thinking about when I was playing this game. I want to play Secret of Mana again. Hopefully we get that collection that's rumored right now. But yeah, it reminded me of that game. So I really enjoyed it, the graphics in the game a lot. Like you said, it was very colorful, great animations, in my opinion. Good character design. The enemy designs were pretty darn good as well. There were some boring ones. There were just... I seen one at one point that was just a circle, a white circle, and a blue dot in the middle.
Very creative.
Very creative. But for the most part, I think what they achieved what they were going for. A lot of the characters were well designed. Especially the party characters, they stand out a bit from all the other NPCs in the game. So that was a big plus. I don't remember seeing any character sprites that were the same, or it wasn't enough for it to be distracting if they did do it. But yeah, I think overall, some good animated cutscenes are always a good thing in a video game like this. I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to give the graphics a thumbs up.
We'll say one thing that I think this game does play and look better from a graphical standpoint in handheld mode. I think when you blow it up on a bigger screen, well, especially going to a 4K screen.
Oh yeah, 4K,
you can start to see the pixelation, and it doesn't hold up very well. But definitely in handheld mode, this game looks pretty good. I think that's probably the best way to enjoy this game.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to enjoy it, or on a 1080. I think even in a 1080p TV would be better suited for a game like this.
Right.
But yeah, I think the menus were good. I didn't see anything that stood out as ugh. Like I didn't say ugh to anything.
Yeah.
So that was a good thing. I did like the design and the art style of the game. So big thumbs up from me there. let us know what you think in the comment section below. We'll be reading those.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see from the gameplay footage here, very, the world itself was very detailed, down to the floor tiles and the furniture and everything. So they actually really did a really good job of taking care of some of the particulars and the details in this game.
It was very dense. It's very dense. Like there's a lot going on in every scene. Like I don't think I've seen a scene that was drab or lifeless.
Right.
Let's say I think everything, like every section of the game was a bit dense. So I enjoyed that. You had a lot to look at, a lot to explore as well within this world. Like you can see here in this gameplay, like I was going around, like because you can interact with things, and a lot of switches are like, a lot of switches make sense, but sometimes you can find secrets, like you can see here if you look around enough and tap A to find them. Yep. But like, yeah, I just enjoyed interacting with everything. I enjoyed interacting with this world because of how good it looked, in my opinion. Like you said, it was a nostalgia thing, I think. It just reminded me so much of when I used to play those RPGs, and I still love this art style till this day. I think it's the art style that holds up to this day. So
I agree. Yeah. Agreed. Even in the age of big old AAA graphics and photorealistic, art style, this did hold up very well.
I hope this style never goes away. I hope like 2D platformers and all that good stuff, like with this type of art style, the pixelated art style, I hope this style never goes away. But Genesis, we're not laughing at the Vita. I love my Vita, dude. I still pull that thing out till this day and play games. Like Jamocha has this game, I forgot the name of it. It's like a GTA clone.
Smashdown or Showdown Hawaii. Or
yeah,
Smackdown Hawaii.
Which
like that.
Reminds me of GTA Chinatown Wars, and I wanted to pick my Vita up just to play that again. So I respect the Vita and what it brought to the industry.
Yeah, Showdown Hawaii.
All right.
No, Shakedown Hawaii. Shakedown Hawaii.
Yep. All right. With all that said, guys, thumbs up on the visuals. Let's move on to the sound of the game. So, a company called Hyperduck Softworks did all the music in the game, I believe. I'm not too familiar with the company, but I do like the music in the game. I don't know if it was anything special outside of the battle theme. Like the battle theme stays with me. Like I still hear it. Like we were just listening to it, but I still hear it like when I'm not playing it. So I think I really like the battle theme in the game. What do you think about the music and the sound overall?
Yeah, so it was very, again, the music was pretty good. It stood out for me. It did have better than MIDI sound, so it fit the graphical style that they were going for. Yeah. So yeah, I thought they did a pretty good job with that, and the little sound effects and the doors opening, clicking switches, things like that. Now this game, I have Dolby Atmos surround sound, so it doesn't lend well to that. Right. It doesn't really use that, which I wouldn't expect from that. So that's not a knock against this game, but no, overall I thought the sound was pretty well done, and it didn't have any weird chirpy voiceovers, which is good.
Yeah. That was a shot at ukulele.
Yes.
Yeah, there were no annoying sound effects. I think all the sound effects within the battle system were good as well. Like, it's just your typical top-down RPG style sounds. Nothing like stood out to me as amazing, but it was all serviceable. Like it did its job.
Yep, definitely.
A lot of decent to good sound effects within the game. And the magical attacks sound just like you would like a lot of those type of sound effects. Like it did its job in my opinion. There's no voice acting in the game. It's all text, so you have to read. But yeah, I think overall, even during the cutscenes, the dramatic music was good. It did its job.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. All right, moving on to this story. This is the good part to me, or this is gonna be a juicy part because a lot went on during in this game. Well, not a lot. It's a traditional RPG. Like a bad guy trying to take over the world, or not necessarily trying to take over the world, but there's a bad guy and they have something that you have to get from them in this game. It's kind of a typical RPG story, but your main character, Alyssa LaSalle, I think that's how you pronounce her name, is an agent for the Agency of Peace, is what they're called. Peace and Intelligence. And she uncovers a conspiracy, basically, which causes her to turn against the agency. So she found this, I think it's a weapon, and the agency wants it, or it could be used as a weapon. The agency wants it to do something with it, but I don't think their intentions were all that good when it came to what they were trying to do with this weapon. So she turns against them. It's a typical like conspiracy type of RPG game. Yeah. But I did enjoy what was there of the story. Now, a lot of the characters, I like like I mentioned, I like the design of the characters. A lot of them were not memorable, in my opinion, but I think they did well enough to serve as teammates. You know, like I didn't get a lot of backstory from a lot of them. There was one character that I felt like he had a good reason for wanting to turn on the agency, and that was the Sai. I think that's how you pronounce his name. It's the alien creature. Because his home planet is in jeopardy. This is farther in the game. This is after. I think this is chapter 7, and after you get to interact with that species. I think chapter 8 is when you get him on your team. But I can't remember anybody else's reasoning behind wanting to turn on an agency so fast or believe what she had to say, except the first 3 characters, of course, you know, they were there with you when they seen this weapon and when you guys collected it. But everybody else that joined you just seems to have this grudge toward the agency and just want to see them get taken down. And I just wish there was a little bit more backstory. I'm sure, you know, the writers had their reason, and I just wish they explored that a little bit more. Maybe in like some side quests or maybe some character detail. Maybe I missed some character detail. Let me know in the comment section, but I don't think I did. But I think the characters' reasoning for joining your squad and saying, "Okay, let's fight this big guy," was not there. So I didn't really get attached to many of the characters.
So could that have been a result of it just being a 15 to 17 hour game, and you know? And it only being a $20 game, I believe.
Yeah.
It was. So, you know, without spending so much budget and time into the story, I figured it would cut back a little bit. You know, I mean, obviously that would take a hit.
Yeah. What's funny is I think the characters could be interesting because their designs and they look interesting. Mm-hmm. I just want to know a lot more about them than I did. Like at one point you find this robot in jail. He's hilarious to me. But the reason that he gives for being in jail and the reason that he's helping you, I just don't remember because it wasn't too like, all right, he has a good reason for joining us and wanting to be a part of this group, and he has a good grudge. Like I didn't get that vibe from this robot guy.
So did some of the character development or the story feel kind of rushed in a way? Maybe
it felt rushed. I don't know. I think they just. I don't know if I would say rush. I think they just did what they thought was right, probably, and.
So not necessarily rush like Game of Thrones season 8. Sorry, I had to get that in there.
Yeah, I don't know if it was rushed or if they just didn't take the time to flesh out these characters or didn't feel the need to take the time to flesh out these characters. You got your main characters and they're decently fleshed out, but everybody else after that comes to your team is like, okay, why are you willing to help me? Like, what's your backstory? Things like that I wish I could have seen a little bit more of in this game. But I still like the characters. I like the design of the characters. I like the tech guy, Dave, Sue, which I don't know why I thought, like, I think he's a cyborg or a robot. It seems like he's a robot of some sort, but I don't know. I don't know. He looks like a robot to me. He looks like just a made type of person, an android.
No, he's not the director or anything. Isn't he
No.
like kind of high up, or he's not high up?
I don't know.
I thought he was. I remember when he joined the team. Maybe he gave them information, or he was something.
Yeah.
I can't quite remember.
I can't even remember, and that's the thing. Like, typically when I'm playing games like this, I remember like those little interactions that give you more insight into the characters. Like, I think a lot of times they breeze over that, and it's not explored anymore after the first time.
Sorry, Genesis, I had to bring up season 8 Game of Thrones. Sorry.
But yeah, like Clark the robot was funny, but I wish I could have explored more of why. Like, he had a funny introduction, and like he tried to explain who he was and why he was famous, and it was funny, but they didn't explore any of it after that. Like, you can't get any more backstory. You can't get attached to these characters. Like, after the initial reveal of these characters, I think that's really all you get from the story. But again, I did like the people that you ended up linking up with, but I just wish there was a little bit more detail or backstory.
Right.
As to their reasoning for being there. As far as the story is concerned, at the end, the twist is, I would say it's one that I didn't see coming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think it was one that I seen coming. I can't think of a game that did this. So, to get into it, like, you get this party member. Her name is Arte, I think it is. Arte? That's how I want to pronounce it. I don't know. But she joins your team maybe in chapter 4 or 5, I want to say. And you're leveling up this character and growing with her. Mm-hmm. And eventually she turns on you.
Oh.
And she's the bad guy.
Oh.
And there's a series of fights at the end, which I still haven't beaten yet. I think I have to grind a little bit more than I have. But come to find out, like, one of your party members turns out to be a super duper bad guy.
So one of your party members.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I've ever seen that in a game. I'm sure there might be other games that have done it, but to take somebody that's have been in your party member or been a party member, you equip items to them, you help them grow, and they turn on, like, that was. I think that was I didn't see that coming, and I enjoyed that quite a bit. Okay. So that was dope to me. I think overall the story was serviceable. But with that twist, it was good. I think it was good. But the game also opens up after chapter 7, so you get to go around in your ship to the different planets that are available and do side missions and recruit people to help you, which we're going to talk about a little bit more in the gameplay section, because there's a lot of gameplay elements on top of recruiting people that we'll get into. But I think the story overall was a good story. Yeah.
Give me more motivation to actually go finish it. I do plan on playing more of this game.
Yeah. All right, fellow nerds, let's get into the gameplay. This is where I think the game shines the most, in my opinion. So let's start out with the battle system. Do you have any comments on the battle system?
I thought it was so first off, let me say I am not a huge fan of turn-based RPGs. Mm-hmm. You know, I've kind of stayed away from those for a long time. I've kind of moved towards the action-based RPG game. But actually playing this game, the battle system was I mean, it was what I expected from a turn-based game. I didn't dislike it, put it that way.
Okay.
And maybe it's just me being a little bit more mature at this point and older and just being more opening and accepting to what that type of battle system offers. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, so that wasn't a turn-off for me. Because if I didn't like that, I probably would have never played the game. I would have just put it down. Yeah, it was... Or either they did a very good job at it, or maybe it's just me maturing.
So there are a lot of things in this battle system that I maybe haven't seen done quite the way they did it. So let's get into it. The first thing I appreciate about this game is that the enemies are visible, so there's no random encounters. I grew to hate random encounters, and there are still games that do it that I'll play, like the Square Enix game that just released with the 8 characters. I forgot the name of it, but that game has random encounters. Looks very pretty, and it's very fun as far as the battle system is concerned, but it has random encounters.
Yeah. See, that was one of the big turn-offs about turn-based RPGs back then, was random encounters. I hated that, but yeah. Sorry.
And another thing that I appreciated in games is that you could turn that off in a lot of newer games. Like, you could turn off the random encounters, so you can go through environments and not get into these encounters. So that's a new development that's coming into games. But for this one, you see the enemies and you clear out the spaces. And if you do want to grind to grow your level, you got to go into the menu and hit battle. I love that. I saw that. I love that personally, because it gives me the option of battling. Like, you have to go through and you have to make your way through the initial wave of enemies. Yeah, but after that, they don't force you into any random encounters. I love it. Thumbs up there. Now, it is turn-based combat, as we were talking about, and I think they did a good job with the mechanics. I think these mechanics breathe a little bit of life into the turn-based. Like, there are a lot of companies doing a lot with the turn-based and how it works. So for this one, you have your move sets. You know, you have all your skills, and those skills can only be used once or twice,
which is something I've never seen before. I don't know, they may be out there, but that was a new wrinkle for me when I started playing. I was like, wait a minute, why can't I use this again? I'm like, oh,
yeah, there's part
of the strategy of it. Okay,
there's no mana system. Like, if you use a move, typically that move is gone until you rest. And that brings into a whole slew of different types of strategies, because I feel like ailments matter a lot more in this game to me than they do in other RPGs, because I liked poisoning guys in this game because it did continuous damage. And when you do a poison move and get that poison and you can't do it again until you rest, like that stack of damage, and it stacks. So it stacks like any other RPG, actually. So you'll poison somebody and then you'll do your next move and you'll hit them and they'll continuously get poisoned. I think the system makes me appreciate that a lot more than I did in other RPGs, where you can, if you have mana potions, you can continuously do your other moves without having to take a turn to just rest and get them back.
Right.
But on top of that, the rest in the game, you level up and you acquire different moves as you go on. You acquire different types of rest as you go on as well. So when you rest, you get into this defensive position by default. That's a default rest. And then as you go on, you get different types of rest. So my current set, one of Alyssa's rest moves right now is she rests and then she heals the party a little bit, which came in handy a lot in this game. So my typical strategy was to go through all my moves and then rest. Typically. And it depends on the enemy as well, because in the battle system there's this thing called burst. I just think all these systems work so well together. So there's this thing called burst, and every time your character takes a turn, they get a notch on this burst system, which is what you're seeing on the screen right now. You see those 3 notches next to the top character, those go up every time you take a turn. And once it's filled, the next move gets a lot more powerful.
Yeah.
So depending on your move set, you might want to save a move until you got that burst meter up and then use that last. And it does a ton of I think it's like double damage, I believe, but it does a ton of damage. Yeah, I enjoyed this system a lot. And another thing, health works really weird in this game. And this is the first time I'm seeing this in any RPG. But if your character gets hit and their HP goes to 0, it doesn't actually go to 0. It'll go to negatives.
0 or negative.
Right? 0 or negative. Mm-hmm. So they'll get on their knees, and you have an opportunity to heal them, or you can, if you want to, you have an opportunity to like use a move in hopes that it finishes off the enemy that you're.
So you can use. So while that character is 0 or negative, while it's their turn, that's when you can either heal or do another battle move.
Yep.
And then if you choose to do a move, or you choose not to heal yourself after they do their move, and you still below 0 or negative, then that character actually dies. So again, it does give you that chance to heal that character or heal yourself if you are able to.
And like there are characters that get moves in this game where if they're negative, their moves do double damage. Like you can get moves that do double damage just because they're in the negative. So like there's a lot of playing around with the move set and a lot of strategy you can bring to these battles. And I really, really enjoyed that. Now, one weird area for me was the attack. A weird type of attack was area attack. And I don't know if you got far enough to see these, but in any RPG like this, like you have these moves that do damage in a specific area, and it could affect one enemy, or if those enemies are close, a group of enemies.
Right.
I rarely ran into enemies that stood close enough together to get a lot of the elemental damage that I would be looking for. So like it almost made those moves pointless. But they are there nonetheless. But that's one weird thing that I've seen. Like I just didn't pull off a lot of area damage in this game. So I don't know what was going on. The enemies were always spread out, basically. But as far as my thoughts on the battle system, I think it's unique. I think it made the game a lot enjoyable for me. Like,
and I think, like you said, I'm not into turn-based RPGs, but I think the battle system, from what we've described, actually kept me engaged in it, along with the other aspects of the game. But the battle system is good. I mean, for this developer here, Z-Boy Games, really did a good job with that, and they're on to something with this. Hopefully, they can flesh this out even more in their next game or the sequel to this, or actually bring that to a AAA type of game system, and then that would be huge. But they did a good job with the battle system.
I think they did a really good job with that. And then on top of that, when the game opens up toward the later half, so the after chapter 7, you can go around to these different planets, as we mentioned, and you can get side quests and all that good stuff. You can recruit people to your ship as well, and these different people that you recruit, you can have. There's a section in the menu where you can change you could just have additional character, which they're not necessarily on the battlefield, but they're there providing elemental support or boost or bonuses effects for you. So I thought that was a cool thing. I think if I play this game again, I want to play it on the hard difficulty, because I think that's when those characters will shine. Like having that extra 10% of HP coming from this character that you found somewhere on a planet and recruited them to your ship. I think if I was playing on hard, that might be the place where those characters could shine. But on normal, I never felt like I don't ever felt I had to grind much. Like
Okay.
I went and did a couple of extra battles in every section, but I don't think I had to grind much. I don't think the game was that difficult to begin with, but there is a harder mode, so I'd be curious to see how it all this stacks up when you have it on that difficulty. But overall, gameplay, huge thumbs up to me. I think this game is very much worth playing for the gameplay alone, in my opinion. Like we said, I think a lot of the characters in the story could have been a little bit better fleshed out. I think the idea behind the characters were good. Like the initial reveals were great.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to interact with these characters a little bit deeper. Is the only thing I would say for that. And again, the graphics and the sound were good. Did you have anything else you wanted to add on top of? Is there anything we missed? Oh yeah, there were a lot of there were a lot of jokes in this game that I thought were funny, and I forgot to get screen caps of a lot of them. But I do want to show you one where they throw shots at other RPGs.
Yeah.
This is Chrono Trigger first. The game, there's one city, I'm bringing this up because there's one city in the game that looks a lot like the Chrono Trigger city that you visit early on, just a little bit more futuristic. So you could tell they got a lot of their inspiration from that series of games. And then there's this joke that I thought was funny, where she mentions she's glad she doesn't have to yell out the move that she's doing every time she does a move. So like, shot at like a couple of RPGs there, but I thought that was funny. There's a lot of little funny jokes about gaming, like having a backlog.
Yeah.
There's it's a funny game, and it made me want to talk to a lot of the NPCs for that reason. I did get a lot of good dialogue out of some of the NPCs, so I did appreciate that. But yeah, overall, highly recommended game. If you didn't play it, or if you planned on getting it, I would have to give this game. We're gonna score it. Let's go ahead and score it. In my opinion, this game is 8.5 out of 10 range. Yeah, I'm gonna say 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to go with an 8 for this game. So this game, all the things that we talked about, they did well. So yes, I do highly recommend this game, and I do plan on playing more of this game. There were a couple of games in the past that we've gone through. Once I'm done. But this game, I actually do intend on continuing to play and get a little bit more details about the game. But yes, highly recommend it if you haven't played this game.
Yes. All right, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you had to rate this game out of 10, what would you rate it? I'd like to hear your feedback on the game if you played it with us. But anyway, let's talk about what our next game is. I'm actually excited about it. Batman Arkham Origins. Arkham Asylum, not Arkham Origins. Arkham Origins is on the mind, but Batman Arkham Asylum. Now, this game came out a few
years ago.
It's been a while. It's the first in the Batman Arkham series. And just so you guys know, if you haven't played these games, they're considered like one of, I think probably it was considered the best superhero game up until Spider-Man came out.
Yes.
And a lot of people still might think that these games are the best because Spider-Man, of course, borrows a lot from the Batman Arkham series.
Fighting
game. The fighting is
a lot of people
similar.
credit Rocksteady for their fighting system in these games.
Yeah.
I mean, what they've done in these games is just amazing. So,
very fun fighting system. It made you feel like a superhero, basically. But this game is available on Xbox Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, you can play that with your subscription at no extra cost. But if you don't have Game Pass, I'm pretty sure you can find this game for dirt cheap.
You can go in a
Amazon,
bargain bin
somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's available for PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, it's a PC, Mac OS even, and it's available for PlayStation 4. I think a collection came out for PlayStation 4 before Arkham Knight came out. I look forward to playing this game again. I don't remember if I 100% the game, which is what I plan on doing this time around. Since I've already played it and beaten it, I want to go through and 100% it. Find all the little secrets and everything. Very doable. I don't know how long. I think it's maybe a 40-hour game if you do that. But I look forward to playing this game. I'm going to be playing it on Xbox Game Pass because I don't have to pay for it.
Yep,
no extra cost for me. But let us know if you're going to play it with us. Again, guys, thank you for joining us for these streams. We always greatly appreciate it. I know we say that every stream, but we really do appreciate you guys joining us for these streams. They're very fun. This game club thing is very fun to me anyway. I'm playing a lot of games that I haven't played before.
Yep.
So
you guys are recommending some games that we've never heard of, or so like this one, I think somebody in the group suggested. I was like, okay,
I think Jason Ruff suggested this game because he was playing it at the time. But I'm glad that I took the time to play this game. It was a very good game. Anyway, guys, that's been it for this game club discussion. As always, I'm Charles of Sounds Nerdy. You can follow me on Twitter at CharliePinkSN.
And you can follow me on Twitter at SNJamoka. Be
sure to check out our website, www.soundsnerdy.com. Check out our YouTube channel, too. We put up a lot of reviews on tech. We got a lot of headphone reviews up right now. We got the HP Spectre review up right now. Be sure to check that out. YouTube.com/soundsnerdy. So if you want to go there and subscribe, we greatly appreciate it. We got a lot of reviews upcoming. I wish I could show you Jamoka's stack of stuff that these companies have been sending us. And I have a stack of stuff that I need to review as well. I think most of it is headphones. I got some Nintendo Switch accessories, and I have a repair for the Joy-Con that I want to do. So hopefully you'll see those videos coming soon. But anyway, guys, that's it for this video. As always, thank you and take care.
Stay nerdy.